Alright guys, welcome back to another Git tutorial, and in this video what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you guys the very basics of how to get up and started creating your very first Git project. Now before we start, adding a bunch of files or doing anything like that, we need to fill out our username and our email, and it's basically Git's way of creating an account. So the reason that we need to do this is because whenever you're working on a Git project with a bunch of people, you're all going to be making changes to the core project. For example, if you're all building a website, you're going to have a programmer, a web developer, maybe a graphic artist, all making changes to the same project. So it's easier to sort things out and see who did what, and that's why everyone needs their own account. So what do we need to do in order to make an account? Well, we need to input our name and tell Git our email. So let's go ahead and add our name first, and this is how you do it. I'm in Bash, I just opened this and put git config. Now config is basically going to change the configuration file, and there's also another way to do this, but this is the easiest way. So we're basically saying we're going to configure some settings, and in this case our name dash dash global. Now this is the only part that may confuse you. Global pretty much means the settings for this user. Now whenever you think global, you may think the entire project, and it is a kind of bad naming convention because in this case global just means this user. So I don't know, you have to yell at Git for that, not me. So git config dash dash global. Now to change our name, put user dot name and add a space in between quotation marks. Just put your name, and mine is Bucky Roberts. So again, git config global username. This pretty much means configure my settings, change my username to Bucky Roberts. Hit enter, and my name is now Bucky Roberts. Now, I said the only other thing we need to do is we need to change our email. So this is going to look really familiar. Git config global user dot email, and my email is bucky at pornhub.gov. So, of course I'm using a fake email here because I don't want everyone spamming my inbox, but hit enter. And now my email is bucky at pornhub.gov. Now, if you want to go ahead and make sure that your settings, got a freaking turd in my throat, your settings saved and everything is good to go, put git config dash dash list and hit enter, and this is pretty much going to list all of your settings. So we didn't change any of these yet, so don't worry, but at the bottom you see the username equals Bucky Roberts and the user email equals bucky at pornhub.gov. And by the way, you see how I'm getting kind of a lot of things on the screen here. If you ever want to just erase everything, not like undo what you just did, but pretty much just clear the screen, just type clear and hit enter, and all those settings are saved. This pretty much just deletes all the text and give you a nice clean screen. Now, I showed you guys how to git config dash dash list, and this lists all of the settings. But if you only want to view one, then you can do something like this: git config user.email and hit enter, and that pops up just that user email. So that's how you look at all the settings and also how to view one setting. So, pretty simple so far. We now have an account created. We now can pretty much start a project. Now, actually, before you guys watch the next tutorial and learn how to actually create a folder and start a project and all that good stuff, I want to mention this. Even though hopefully you guys are going to keep watching these tutorials and learning from me, if you ever come across something that you don't quite understand, if you type get help, it kind of sounds like, I want to get help, and hit enter, it's going to give you this big help menu, and these are all the topics that if you type one of those in, you can get more information on. So let's say that you want to do this. You want to learn more about this commit little command right here. So what you can do is you can type git help commit and hit enter, and it says launching default browser to display HTML. And even though you guys didn't see it, let me make this, my computer just popped up this little page right here, and what it did is it opened the commit help page so you can learn about commit. And depending on what default browser you have, mine's Chrome, hopefully yours is too, then it'll pop up the help section for whatever you typed. So again, that's get help, and if you want help on a specific topic, get help in the name of that topic. Alright ladies, so we figured out how to change our username, we figured out how to change our email, we are now good to go. So in the next video, we're going to be starting our very first project. It's going to be awesome, so I'll see you then.